Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, because we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. To Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are anticipating our program Hard Facts, that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. It is your midday dive. And my friends, I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, inviting you to join me today, Saturday. Join me today, and let us all, really and truly have that discussion that many citizens in our country, some are whispering, some are talking, and some are crying about the situation that is perpetuated by the criminal elements in our society. My friends, we are going to talk about politics, we're going to talk about fraud, we're going to talk about utilities, we are going to talk about health, we are going to talk about those things, as I said before, that is in the lips of many of you, our hardworking, loyal citizens. So I invite you all to join me, call the number 372-2129. Join me today, and let us really and truly discuss, dissect, and have some sort of discussion whereby our citizens in our country can benefit. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. My friends, just reminding you, we are live on TikTok, we are live on Facebook, and my friends, again, you all can interact with me. You can interact with me and let us know what is going on. We have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our channel and let those persons who are at home, the housewives, because there's lots and lots of information that is on that channel, our Hard Facts channel, Sentinel Media Broadcasting. So join me, Imam Rashid Karim, and let us really and truly put some, some grease on the wheel, and let us assist the government of the day in maneuvering those situations that is prevailing in our society at this point in time. Thank you. Okay, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are looking at this short video, this is to introduce the Islamic Fidel Services Trust of Trinidad and Tobago, a non-profit organization that is at present establishing a peaceful home and daycare for the elderlies in our country. We are asking those of you who are interested in enlisting your loved ones, namely your mom, your dad, and those persons who are in need of assistance in mobility and moving around and so many different things. We are here, we are providing love, care, and kindness to our elderlies in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are interested in volunteering your service or who would like to come and be part and parcel of this unanimous project that is being undertaken by the IFST Board of Directors, I would like you all to call that number 308-5318 and volunteer your time, whether you are a nurse, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a professional person in any scope, any field. We are willing to really and truly accept whatever you are willing to offer for the citizens of our country, namely Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. And those of you who are locked on, those of you who have been anticipating our program on Sentinel Media Broadcasting, Hard Facts. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. And my friends, I want to welcome you to our program today and ask God Almighty to keep you all safe. Very, very important, because I tell you something, when we look at what is happening in our country, when we look at what is taking place on a daily basis in our communities, my friends, it is really, really alarming to understand clearly what is happening, what really and truly is happening. And are we going to blame the government for everything? There are certain things that we have to blame the government for, guarantee. There's no two ways about it. There's certain things that we have to put the blame squarely on the shoulders of the government. But again, when we look at crime, when we look at home invasion, and when we are looking at what is taking place presently in our communities, my friends, really and truly, you can't put the blame squarely on the government. I'm telling you that. Because I tell you something, a lot of things is happening in our society, and when you look at what you and I are doing, some of us, we are seeing the situation. We are seeing what is happening in our country. And you know what? We whispering. We staying quiet. We whispering. We're not even talking about it. And then again, we see people, my friends, there are people outside there who knows everything and anything. You go around the different areas, different villages, different communities, you are going to realize that there are people in those areas who know a lot of things. But they're not coming forward, they're not going to talk, because you know why? My friends, you know why? Because they are scared out of their wits. Because maybe if they speak out, they don't know who they are speaking to, and maybe the information is going to reach back to the criminal elements who is perpetrating the crimes in our country. So again, my friends, I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim, and I invite you all to join me, 3722129. That's the number you can reach me at, 3722129, or you can call me at 485-4644. Those of you who are locked on, a lot of people have been texting me and mentioning to me that, Imam, we really want to come to the program. We really want to come into the program. We watch your program. Sometimes we don't watch it live on the set itself, but sometimes, when we go home in afternoons, we sit down and we watch our program and we dissect the program, and that's the reason why, sometimes we give you late comments. Now, I want to tell you all something. Those of you who are watching, this program, Hard Facts, is a really and truly interesting program whereby we design it in such a way that it would not encroach on your timing. Those of you who are working, whether it be a supermarket, whether it be in a private sector, whether you are doing your own business at home, I'm sure that many of you are taking some time off to have your lunch break. And within those framework, I know for a fact that many of you would be eating and you would be scrolling. So this is an opportunity that you have. And I'm inviting you all, those of you who are locked on. Maybe you had a bad taste when it comes to home invasion. Maybe you have people who are missing presently. Your loved ones are missing. They went missing maybe 1 month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and they have not been found. And maybe you'd like to resurrect that. You have an opportunity to call this program 372-2129, or you can call me at 485-4644 and let me know so that we can. And if you wanna do a voice note, those of you who are scared and you feel scared that people might recognize your voice and so forth, you can do a voice note. Write down what you would like to say, do a voice note, send it to me, and if you have a photo or something like that, we are going to broadcast it for you free. As I said before, there's approximately a lot of people following our channel, and we are here, as I said, this is not to make any money. This program is to give back to our society. This program is to help the relevant agencies to do their bidding, so that the citizens of our country can benefit from the services that is being offered by the government of the day. That is what we are all about. We are here to criticize the government, yes. We are here to criticize the government at certain adventures, yes. But again, we are not only here to criticize, we are here to highlight the good things that they are doing. And if you examine this program carefully, my friends, you're going to realize that there were constructive criticism that was given to both the PNM and the United National Congress. So those of you who are locked on, I want to welcome you to our program and ask you all to join me on set, and let me know exactly what really and truly is taking place in your community. Number one, I want to just tickle your feathers a little bit. I want you all to answer these questions. Maybe you can call me. Crime and security is always high on the agenda. Crime and security is always high on the agenda. And the next thing I want to let you all know, those persons who are traveling from San Fernando to Port of Spain and from Port of Spain to San Fernando, you are going to realize that there is a certain stretch of the highway. We are talking from where the Children's Hospital is, and we are going straight down until Gasparillo flyover. And my friends, you're going to examine carefully what I am saying on this program. For the past week, there has been about 4 or 5 major accidents taking place in that stretch of the highway. Some of you maybe have been affected by it. Some of you may have lost your loved ones. Something is not adding up. Something there is not adding up, and we are trying to dissect. We are trying to find out, is it speed? Is it because of the speed? The uncontrollable speed that people are driving. And I brought this to the attention of John Public. Those, those small vehicles, those vehicles that is working with electric and so forth, right? And I tell you something, when you drive those vehicles, sometimes your foot is on the X, not feet, foot is on the X, and you are accelerating, and you doesn't really and truly look at your speedometer, and sometimes you cross 150, 130, 120, and you do not really and truly acknowledge the speed that you are driving. I tell you something, after you cross 60 or 65 miles per hour, my friends, that vehicle is not in your ambit. You cannot control that vehicle. If you mash a sudden brakes, chances are you could flip, you could turn around, you could turn over, and all these things could happen. So those of you who are locked on, feel free to call me. Those of you who are on TikTok, and those of you who have joined me on the community platform, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to our program, Hard Facts. This is your Saturday edition where we discuss a lot of things that is happening in our communities. For example, my friends, one of our heated discussion that we want to have today on our program is, why is the motor toll so high, and what realistic solutions have not been tried? This government have been trying, the past government have tried, and you're going to realize, my friends, a lot of things, again, it went haywire. It went out of hand. And when you look at the budget allocations for the protective service, namely the TTPS, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, you're going to realize they get a chunk of the budget. Trinidad and Tobago, let's be real. Let's be real. Something is not adding up. What has happened to the fabric of our society? What has happened to the fabric of our society? What has happened to our kids? What has happened to the nation? What has happened to the thinkers? What has happened to the men of the cloth and the women of the cloth? What has happened to the clergymen, my friends? What has happened to the teachers? What has happened in our country that really and truly is really not alarming, not ringing that alarm in the minds of the citizens that, hey, something is not happening right in our country. It's not only about money. It is not only about money. Because I tell you all something. I remember this in my social studies class, way down in 1978, 78, 79. We're talking about a good number of years while I was in school. And we were doing social studies. And the teacher who was teaching social studies, he tell us, a good government is not a government that makes profit in the entities that they possess, like like TNTech and WASA and all those things. They don't have to make the airport. He was speaking about the airport and so forth. They don't have to make, a humongous amount of profits. All they have to do is break even and service the population. That is what the country is supposed to be doing. Break even, the government, all government agencies, the monies, the profits of those agencies supposed to be going back and being invested back into the population. Not to be going in any treasury and be able for people to maneuver it and misdirect it. That is not how it's supposed to be. Any government agencies, whether the public utility services, whatever agencies that is governed by the government of Trinidad and Tobago, right? That agency should be running in such a manner that it should be profitable, yes, but not exorbitant profit like the private sector. And as a matter of fact, if it break even, then the government of the day, they are fulfilling their mandate. But today we are not seeing that happening. And you know something, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to really and truly think twice. Because again, the blaming game, we're going to blame. Right? Whether it's PNM, whether it's UNC, I tell you something. Some of you mightn't like what I'm saying here. Some of you might not like what I'm saying here. But you all have to understand, everybody outside there who take that ministerial portfolios, you all as citizens, yes, you are servant of the people, not people are servant to you. You have to realize that, you have to recognize that, and you have to treat it like that. When people try to, maneuver a conversation with you, not because you are in a high position, you feel that you are always right. No. Not because you feel that, you are in an office and people are supposed to come to you. What about people going to people? You all do it for election. You all go to the people. Why it is that after the election, when you win the election or something like that, right? The people have to come to you. Why? Why? You tell me why. I know you would be busy, yes, you say you're busy, but at least why don't you all have a monthly session where people can go and meet? I was telling the past MP for the Shogunas West area, I was dictating and really and truly putting in writing for him to understand that you need to go and meet the people on a monthly basis in the different relevant areas that you represent, and not, not a small meeting. You should be having communication with the activists. You should be pulling all activists from all areas and sensitizing yourself, namely, and then again sensitizing your communities on what is the progress that is going to take place. Because I tell you something, if you depend on the councillors alone, you depend on the councillors of your area alone, they cannot handle that job, because again, you're going to realize that some councillors, they have more than one portfolio. Right, so Trinidad and Tobago, this discussion that we are having, I would like you all to join with me and let us know what is happening in your community. That's number one. Why, the question I ask you all, why is the murder toll so high, and what realistic solution have not been applied? What? Because I tell you something, the majority of things have already been in the books. Maybe we'd have to be like Jamaica now, and bring foreign intervention with the foreign protective services to really help out the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Because again, you're going to realize this morning in my community, and you know something, police officers, you all have to understand, once a man enter a man's premises and he's found stealing, that person is a threat to the individual life and his family life. And my friends, those of you who are locked on, if you have maybe last week to this week, you have anything, you have anything that happened adverse in your home, anything that has happened adverse, whether somebody came into your community, whether somebody break into your place, whether somebody thief your chicken, whether somebody stole this, stole that, the next. My friends, those of you who are locked on, Scarborough teacher shocked, awake by pantsless intruder in her bedroom. These are things that is happening, and we have to really and truly ask ourselves, Trinidad and Tobago, is this what we want? And if we allow this to happen now, right? You all are big people. You are adults outside there. Just imagine our kindergarten children who are coming up, our sons and our daughters, our grandchildren that is coming up, Trinidad and Tobago. What legacy are you leaving for those children? Huh? Are you leaving them in the rain? We have to stand up. We have to join with the protective services, yes. We have to join with the government, yes. But again, the government have to understand that there's an olive branch that has to be handed out. And they have to go just as how, you know, the ministers they are having community. And this is the madness. This is the madness that I've seen taking place. Only where there's a hotspot, you know, they don't understand there's something called prevention, right? This is a simple thing. You all going to have your police meeting where? Only in the hotspot areas. What about the areas that is deemed not hotspot? Why don't you all go there and protect and advise and give information to those people who are not in crime as yet? Because again, you going across to these people who are already criminal elements, they are hardcore criminals, right? You going to them to administer what? What are they going to take? You're going to administer and tell them about policing and tell them about this and tell them about the other. You have to be able, as we ask the question over and over and over and over, and I'm going to continue asking to the Commissioner of Police in Trinidad and Tobago, if you find somebody in your home, in a home invasion, somebody enter your premises, what is it that you can do? There was big hue and cry before the election. There was big hue and cry. You know, if you catch them there, do what you have to do. Empty the clip and what have you. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to deal with situation on a daily basis. All those ministers, you're going to realize that they are well protected. They are well protected. But what about the lay citizen? What about the farmer? What about the farmer who went to attend his crop, right, and he lost his van? What about the farmer who planted all his crop and he time to reap his crop, my friends? When he goes for the produce, there is no produce. You tell me. Call me on that number, 372-2129. 485-4644, and let us identify, let us talk about situation that is prevailing at this point in time. Again, my friends, before we take our first break, should the death penalty be reinstated? Should the death penalty be reinstated? Another thing that we have to discuss here in our program is the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service performing or failing? That's a question that you have to ask. We have to ask that, and we have to discuss it amicable on different platforms. Is the police service in Trinidad and Tobago performing or are they failing miserably? These are questions that we have to ask. You can't be scared. We just discussing. We having discussion here in our program. Some of you would say yes, come out and call the number and say yes, the police service, they are doing a wonderful job. We appreciate them. No problem. That is what people want to hear. They want to hear that communication. You can't only be whispering. Whispering. It's about time you let your voices be heard, my dear friends. And a third question that we should ask ourselves is, should the government bring in foreign police investigators or advisors? Because I know for a fact that they did it in the past, and I think they should do it again, because anything, my friends, to curb crime in our country and to give, you know, the hardworking citizens, you know, peace of mind, anything that should be done, because again, the protective service, the budgetary allocation for the police, the army, and what have you, they get the chunk of the budget. They get billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars, year in, year out. And are we seeing the results for it? You tell me, Trinidad and Tobago, call me. Don't feel ashamed. I am sitting behind the chair. I am sitting in the hot seat. You can pick up your phone and call me and tell me, yes, Imam, they are doing a good job. Yes, Imam, they are not doing a good job, and we should correct them and we should improve on the service. And that is what this program is all about. Not come in here and blah, 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 blah. No. This program, my friends, is to include you, our loyal, hardworking citizens. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And hear what? You know what? This program, again, we're not going to malign the character of anyone. We're not going to backbite. We're not going to slander anyone. Because again, making accusation like, you know, this one is that and the next one is, hey, that would not help, that would not develop, that would not build our country. Let us have, you know, discussion that will be productive and fruitful to the nation and to the hard-working citizens of our country. Let's take our first break. Those of you who are locked on, those of you who are on the TikTok page, maybe you can text the message. Director, those persons who are maybe texting messages, maybe you could run the message on the Flickr tip, whether it is good messages, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, but just avoid if there's any obscenity. That's it, finish. You can tell us what you want, you can identify, and do not try to identify people by their names, right? Thank you very much. Let's take our first break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers, sisters in humanity, may the peace, blessings, and guidance of God Almighty descend upon each and every one of you. This is an introduction to the IFST Golden Crescent Home for the Unfortunate and the Aged Persons in our country. Our project have started, and we are looking to complete our project in the first quarter of 2026, whereby we'll be taking in our first batch of persons who will be living in our home. So those of you who are watching this video, share this video, and if you have a loved one who would like, you know, really and truly to have that homely atmosphere under, you know, the guise of kindness, tenderness, and good humanitarian relationship, then call us at 372-2129 and enroll your loved ones so that they can have a lovable, enjoyable time. Okay, my friends, welcome back to our program, Hard Facts. Those of you, Director, let's check the line because I now saw a text here and the person said they're trying to reach us. I now saw a text that the guy say, he said trying to reach us and he's not reaching us. So again, you can call us back, please. Again, my friends, we are having a really wonderful discussion on our Saturday program. Those of you who are locked on, and many of you would have encountered a lot of traffic, you know, a lot of traffic. Like a guy, you know, was telling me this morning, a guy was telling me this. And listen carefully, those people with the big vehicles, you know, those big truckers, the big truckers, you have to be really and truly cordial and you have to be respectful on the highways and the byways. Not because you're big and bad and you're bold. You can't do that because the guy was telling me, and he had footage. I said, you could take this footage to the police. Because I tell you something, this is very dangerous. That individual could have maybe swerved and somebody could have lost their life. What happened on the highway was this. A trucker was overtaking a lot of vehicles, right? And what happened, you know, he just pulled in front of a van. And he, you know, he mashed his brakes, and the van had was a pull and so on and so forth. Again, now the driver of the van was trying to overtake, maybe to let the person know how he was driving reckless and so forth. But that didn't happen because when the van overtake on the right-hand side, the truck driver went on the right. And again, when the driver went on the left, the truck went on the left, and that went on for a period of time. So the point I'm making here is that a lot of things is happening in the nation's highway. You know something, those dividers, right? Those dividers that were made when they were paving the highways, especially going from Freeport to San Fernando, you realize that there's a lay-by in the center. That would have been to accommodate maybe if there's an accident and you can't pass on one lane, you could use that and then dissect and come back on the other side. And also it could have been a lane where a police vehicle could park there and monitor, especially on high traffic periods, morning and evening and so forth, which really happens. But it so happened that when the incident happened, there were no police vehicles on the lanes, or else I'm sure that truck driver could have gotten his license revoked. I tell you something, not because you are a truck driver and you feel that you could just smash brakes anytime and anywhere, and vehicles from the back could just ram into you and people could have lost their life. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be very, very, very careful. All right? So again, we're going to continue on our discussion that we are having. And as I said before, the number to reach me in studio is 372-2129. You can call me. That's a digi number. And you can call me, be mobile 485-4644. Those numbers, you can also call us on WhatsApp. You don't have money on your phone, call us on WhatsApp and let us know what is happening. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with what is taking place? Are you satisfied with your ministers? Are you satisfied with the government? Are you satisfied with the opposition? Stop whispering. You have a voice. This is your platform. Mount the platform on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. The program is live. It is Hard Facts, where you can really and truly let John public know what is your take. A lot of people, I tell you something, I can vouch for it. A lot of ministers in this present government, they are working, like for example, the Honorable Barry Padarat, right? You would have seen him in office during the daytime. You see him in office late on evenings, late at night, and so many things. We are seeing Miss Jolene John. She's entering office very, very early in the morning, picking up her schedule and going late until the afternoon. We are seeing men like David Lee and a lot of ministers. We are seeing, like for example, our minister here, Neil Gosain. He was in the community up to last week, and he is visible, but some of you might not be seeing him because people are already complaining. But I am telling you that he is visiting, he's talking with residents, and he's moving around. He's attending funerals, he's attending prayers, he's attending different functions in the different cadastral in his constituencies. Right? So if you're not seeing him, easy as that. You're not seeing him and you are saying something like that, you just make an appointment. I did it. I went there, I met him, and again I saw him a couple of times. Well, right? So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, this is your program, Hard Facts. It is live on Sentinel Media Broadcasting, where we discuss situations that is presently prevailing in our country. Important thing is immigration and border control. That is something that we're going to discuss here, immigration and border control. Let's talk about that. You're all talking about the Spanish immigrants here, and we're talking about just the day before yesterday, I saw that 3 or 4 so-called fishermen, right? Fishermen were held, and our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she distinctively made it clear. Right? So some of you might be angry with her. I am not angry because she made that proclamation live. She made it clear. She broadcast it. Those of you who would like to go across there and do your bidding, then you have to stand alone, because the government is not going to show any solidarity with you, because you know for a fact that there's some tension that is brewing right now. Right? If you don't know that, then hear what? You are living in a hole. You all know what is going on between the tension between Trinidad and Tobago. You know the tension that is taking place with Venezuela and America. You all know that. So don't come and say that you're going to take a run there, a dry run, and you're going across there. And when you get caught, you want to call on the government of Trinidad and Tobago to assist you. Hey, think again. So very, very important. Do citizens support mass deportation of the illegal immigrants in our country? I personally, I don't support that. I think something could be done to really and truly register and let them pay taxes just like how we are paying taxes in our country. And if that is not feasible, then repatriate them, let them move back to their country in a peaceful and an orderly fashion, register them and send them across. That is what I think. But again, you the citizens, you have a voice, because I know when you're angry, many of you, when you're angry, you would say, send them back home. Send them back home. But again, you can't think like that. There are people who come here because of the challenges that they are facing. There's something called refugee status. Because I know for a fact that when Trinidad and Tobago, at one point in time, a lot of people were seeking asylum in Canada. People were seeking asylum, refugee status in different countries. What about if those countries didn't say, well, here what? We're not taking any refugees. We're not doing anything like that. We don't have nothing to do with you. What would have been done to those people? Huh? So, do so, don't like so. I am telling you, let us have discussion. Let's have amicable discussion. on matters that is really and truly relevant. Should government limit work permits to the foreigners? That's another beautiful question. Should government limit work permit for foreigners? Huh? Another important thing that we have to discuss again, and we're going to continue. This program is a program that we continually have in discussion on a daily basis. Because I tell you something, sometimes people come downstairs, we'll sit down, we have coffee, and again, they would tell me a lot of things. A lot of things I know about a lot of people in our country. So Trinidad and Tobago, really and truly, you have to understand, any country that has refugees and immigrants like us, like Trinidad and Tobago, we're talking about close to proximity of 150 to 200,000 immigrants, not only Venezuelan, not only Spanish. We have people from Jamaica, we have people from Guyana, we have people from Bangladesh, we have people from different parts of the world, India, Pakistan, all these places, Peru, Chile, all those places. We have a lot of people. We have approximately 250,000 immigrants in our country. We have that. So when you look at you as a lay citizen, and you would be questioning why there is no beds in the hospital, and you would be questioning that so many things are happening, you have to think further than that. And you have to understand that the government of the day, they have a lot of responsibilities when it comes to immigration and immigration laws. You have to understand that. So Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, you all join with me. Let us really and truly assist our Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, and her members of Parliament and her government ministers and on matters of grave concern, how we can really and truly curb crime, how we can do that, how we can really and truly bring down the price of food. Because another important thing that I saw is that people were telling me, people were saying this, that when they go to the supermarket this week, the price is there. If they spend $1,500 in the grocery, the next week when they go, they have to spend $1,600 to $1,700. And it's the same kind of goods they're buying, nothing really and truly lavish. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, something has to be done. There's something called price gouging, where certain people, because when you look at the international market, you're going to realize that prices are fluctuating with many items, many items. But we in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, we do not benefit from the price fluctuation that is taking place in the international market. Why? Because of price gouging. People, they keep it at a standard rate. When the price go up, they first to raise. When the price of foodstuff go up, they're the first to raise because grains high and this, that, the next, and production high and so forth. But when you and I, they fail to realize, many of those people who are importers in our country, they fail to realize, right? They're quick to say that, the freight price is 12,000 and 15,000, freight price going up, freight this, freight that. But when the freight went down to 4,000, when the freight went down to $5,000, we were paying the same price, Trinidad and Tobago. Think about it. Let's take a break. Welcome back to our program, Hard Facts, that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12 in the afternoon, 12:15 thereabout. Now, I tell you something, I just saw a text, right? I saw a text, and many texts came into my program here. A lot of people were texting me now. And as I was talking about, you all have the opportunity. Call me 372-2129, or you can call 485-4644. Those are the numbers that you can reach me in studio. Let us have a discussion. Let us understand. And you know, one of the texters on TikTok said, nobody is happy. Nobody is happy. I beg to differ, my friend there. You said nobody is happy, but I tell you something. The criminal elements in our country, they are the ones who are happy right now. They are, like for example, this morning, someone went into an individual yard. They went into the person's vehicle and they took out the battery. And that battery is about $4,000 to $5,000. And that person is a young lady who is now working. She has now started working. Right? She now purchased that vehicle. Hey, you criminal elements, you all are real sick people, you know. You all are sick, you know. That is the reason why when you get bullet and people shoot you and all kind of thing, people they say, but it's good for them. It really and truly, imagine this. A young lady now get a job in the borough of Shogunas. I'll call it out, the borough of Shogunas. Now get a damn job. All the time she was on OJT. She now get a little job. Right? She purchased a little vehicle, Aqua. Huh? A small vehicle she purchased. And what happened? She paying for that vehicle, she renting, she paying, she loans, and what have you. This miscreant. And you know something? He band up his face like a ninja. But before he did done, somebody will find him. And I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. The police service, you know, you all have to do a little more than what you're doing. And stop being, you know, I really and truly, sometimes I just get lost for words, you know, when I'm talking about things that is passionate to me. The police can go around, there's cameras by everybody's house. If a crime is committed in Kakandi Road, Felicity, every village, every house have a camera. You all could go across there and make a promissory note with the people who come some contract. Well, here what all we want to see is the footage. We're not going to put that in no publication because people are scared. Trinidad and Tobago, why is it that the police can't work something out with the residents of the area? You go across there, look at it, see the footage, and try to identify it. But you know what? Nobody is to be trusted. That is the reason why today people don't want to give, you know, a lot of crime. Ian Allen, you know, Ian Allen is a man working hard. I want to say hats off to Ian Allen. And I'll tell you something, people trust him, and he would go and clean up the video, and he would identify and he would narrow down on the criminals. But that doesn't happen when it comes to the police service. And who vexed with me lost? That doesn't happen when it comes to the police service because people don't want to give the police any security footage. Why? Because they're scared when they go to wherever they're going to clean and the people who clean it see that face and they say, aha, we know this person. Well, hear what? That friend of a friend and a friend of a friend, we can't divulge that. My friends, that's the reason why people are asking the question why it is that Ian Allen program is accelerating to that high level. It is because people trust the man. People trust Ian Allen. They don't trust the police service. Who like that and who don't like it, that's all a business. That's the truth. People trust Ian Allen, and that's the reason why they give Ian Allen footage. He would clean it up, and he will go after the criminal. He would make a promise to them, here what? Nobody's seeing this. Right? And that is happening. I was talking about the young lady, and this person went in her yard this morning, stole the battery. Now she has to get money. She paying a loan, she paying rent, and now she had to go and get money to buy a battery, or she had to foot it to work on Monday. And that is the country we live in at this point in time. I am telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, right? If the citizens of our country really and truly define that person, right? If the residents define that man and brutalize him, right, and finish him, you know what? They would have to pay the price. They would have to pay the price. Sometimes you see things happening and you see it on video and social media and you say, boy, you know, they shouldn't beat the man, so, you know, they shouldn't beat him, they should call the police. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago, emotion sometimes derails judgment. And that's the reason why today, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, let us all join together. Let us nip crime. Let us nip crime on the bud. If you know people who are committing crime, it is your duty to try to convince that person to stay away from committing crime. Give them example, just as how I am giving you that example. The young lady, she's working. now get a job, purchase a little vehicle, have to pay rent, right? And then you come and thief that battery. You stole that battery this morning. You all don't have any mercy. All you're concerned with is getting money to pay the piper, to buy your drugs and what have you. That's all. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, let us work together as a unit. Let's just, really and truly work with the ministers and stop fighting them. And if they're not listening after you have already maybe made a lot of communication, like what I am doing at this point in time. Sorry, I can't read that. I got a job for a man from Shagwanas. The person pay him up front. He duck and run the person. Now I have to pay it back. Imagine that. Imagine that, my friends. That texter, that person on TikTok is telling me, right? They help somebody get a job, right? And that person take the money and duck and run now. The recommender who recommend that person is the one getting the blame now. Only when they have roadblocks, you'll find a lot of people, director, some of the comments, I would wish that you could run it on the screen so I could be able to see it from that distance here and read it out, because a lot of people texting me and telling me things, and they're asking me, Imam, please, Imam, like this caller here, this texter here is telling me, Imam, why it is that, should the state take over some of those elderly care and geriatric homes? Now, that is a very important thing, knowing for a fact that the IFST, the Islamic Fidelity Services Trust of Trinidad and Tobago, is setting up a home. And coincidentally, this person texted me and said, should the state take over elderly care and geriatric homes in our country? I tell you something, what I think the government should do is people who are collecting pension and so forth, when they sign up for their pension, if they don't have anybody to take care of them, they have nobody to take care of them, the government responsibility, because they are citizens of our country. Because if somebody when American citizens go in different parts of the world and they become stranded, America take them, America take care of them. Trinidad and Tobago, that's the same policy. Your citizens are suffering in your own country. A very beautiful question that this individual is asking. Should the state take over elderly care and geriatric homes in our country? They can't take it over. But they could, they could register the home, monitor the home, and in some cases, assist the home in persons who cannot afford to really and truly pay the small fees that is supposed to be done. Supposed to be given to these people. All right, so again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, let us, share this video. Let us really and truly identify, let people know that there's a program. There's a program that you can call. I'm really feeling sorry for that person. Because a lot of people come, they tell me, Imam, I'm looking for a good mason. Imam, I'm looking for a good plumber. Imam, I'm looking for a good electrician. Imam, I'm looking for a good builder. You know what I just tell them? I say, when you get one, recommend them to me. That is the distance I reach now. When you get that good one, tell them I have job, I have work available for them. Because I tell you something very, very rare. It pities me. I am very, 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 very sorry. I am very, very sorry for that individual. I am very, very sorry for that individual who take it in a pitiful state and say, well, here what, David or Johnson or Jack and the Beanstalk, whoever, they're not working, and I know a person and he could do a good job, and you recommend that person. You convince the next one to give that person the job. And you know what happened? That person take the people money. Every day somebody will come in the hardware here and they will tell me, Imam, you know that person? I say, yes, I know that person. And he said that they will tell me that the man take a down payment and we can't find him. That is what is happening in our country at this point in time. Please, those of you who are calling, don't call my number. Call the studio number 372-2129 or 485-4644. That's the number that you can reach me in studio at this point in time. Another important thing, Trinidad and Tobago, that we have to talk about, right? We have to talk about the economy. And I know that is going to be a full segment talking about the economy. How is it that the government of the day is going to raise finance, really and truly, at this point in time, knowing for a fact that the past government, their hue and cry would have been that we can't pay, increase of wages, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do the next. I will regurgitate those tapes and show you where the past government, that would have been the PNM government, and they are opposition now. On many, many platforms, they said that we don't have that kind of monies to raise or give a pay hike and what have you not, and we can't complete this, we can't complete the highway, we can't build any bridge for people in Caroni, we can't do anything, right? We can't do anything. So now if you couldn't do anything and you were in government for 10 years, my friend, this is no bastion, this is putting politics and political parties aside. We're talking realistic here. We are talking about, you know what, you there for 10 years, you couldn't do it, right? And now you come in parliament, you get mouth, you get speaker, you get everything, right? That the government could do this and the government could do that. You know what was alarming to me in my ears, Trinidad and Tobago? You know what was alarming to me? When the finance minister, the past finance minister, he was asking the present finance minister, I wonder where you're getting the money from to do those things. You tell me something. You tell me, Trinidad and Tobago, right? You tell me, Trinidad and Tobago, if that doesn't sound fishy to you, that the past finance minister is asking the present finance minister where you getting that money from. It clearly indicative and indicates to me that the government didn't have any money to start their performance at this present regime. That this time the government was broke. Because if you was the past finance minister, you are asking the present finance minister where they getting the money from, then something, you know something that they didn't know. So again, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, it's about time we start to take the past regime to task, allow this government to really and truly perform, and if by chance they're not doing it, because I know for a fact, if they don't have any money, everything will be on a delay status. And maybe that is the situation at this point in time. Right? So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, let us know. A lot of people, I'm sorry that what happened, the phone that I am supposed to be reading from, the monitor is a bit far, and I really can't see it, but I know a lot of text coming in the two monitors. Director, we could work on something to carry that next week, huh? Because a lot of people, I am sure that people would like their text to be read, right? Now, my friends, very, very importantly, right? I want to leave these questions with you, and maybe you could, you as a citizen in our country, maybe you can text me. I'll keep that phone with me, and I'll be able to keep the information that you are sharing, read it, and be able to dissect it properly for our next show in the coming week, right? Is the government failing to control crime? That's a question that I am posing to you. Is the government failing to curb crime? That's a very, very important question. And secondly, why are groceries so expensive now? Who is doing the price gouging? Who is doing it? Is it the supermarket owners? Is it the importers? Is it the high prices? It is the taxation? What is really taking place? And these are questions that my callers, my texters, my viewers would like to find out from any one of you outside who have those types of information. Right? So again, my friends, I want to thank you all very, very much. May God Almighty bless you all and keep you all safe. We have a last segment again, and I'm giving you the opportunity, those of you who are locked on, I'm giving you the opportunity to call me. Call me at 372-2129 or 485-4644. Let's take a break, Director. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. We just have just a couple of minutes for our closing in our program, Hard Facts. We had discussed a lot of things thus far. And again, my friends, you have an opportunity to call me. Again, if those of you who are scared to call the program, you can send us a voice note, and we are going to play it, and we're going to dissect your conversation, and we're going to talk about it on our program, Hard Facts. So I invite you all, those of you who are locked on, be part and parcel of our programming, right? Very importantly, crime plan, right, versus crime reality. You know, sometimes the government of the day, they are setting up crime plan, right? And the crime plan, is the crime plans very realistic or not realistic? That is a point that's supposed to be discussing in our program, right? Now people are telling me 80% of food imported starts. That's why they, oh, okay, very, very important there. One of our texters on TikTok is telling me that Imam, majority of the food in the supermarket, 80% of the food stuff in the marketplace is imported stuff. And that's the reason why, the food price is going to be accelerating as it is at this point in time. Now I'm calling on Minister Ravi Ratiram, Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, right? You know, we can't just be following the trail. I would appreciate that the government today, we become trailblazers. Means to say that, you know, we push forward and be more innovative when it comes to the agricultural sector, right? When you look at places like South Africa and you look at places that, you know, now budding, right? You are seeing there's so much innovations. You are seeing people setting up tomato plant, plantery, means to say that processing plant. We are seeing people in different areas, you know, they are processing their products. They are purchasing from the farmers and processing. Why the government of the day cannot initiate something like that as an initiative? There's so much land, I'm telling you, there's so many people who have 2 acres lands. There are people who have 2 acres of land. They're not planting it. Why? Tell me why. Tell me why. You know why? Let me give you a breakdown. One guy, he planted a 2-acre plot of land with pawpaw. And when he planted that, he watched that pawpaw grow. And the pawpaw grew. And he looked at, you know, all those pawpaw on the tree. We're talking about one pawpaw tree had maybe 25 to 30 pawpaw. And he watched them grow, right? And lo and behold, time for reaping, Trinidad and Tobago, time for reaping. That man, he didn't get as much as he's supposed to get. You know why? Because all the big, humongous pawpaw was stolen. Once it start turning and get a full, you know, get a little greenish solid, those pawpaw was reaped by the bandits. You know what the man did? Tell you what he did? He, in a fits of an anger, he went and he chopped down all the trees. He went and just bladed down. I was fortunate that he brought maybe about 3 or 4 baskets of these small ones, and he said, Imam, this is for you. I give it away in the hardware. I give it away. Remember those of you who were receiving pawpaw from the hardware? It was from that guy. Out of frustration, he cut down all the trees. Now, I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, right? Trinidad and Tobago. We have to sit down and have dialogue, and the government must be willing also to have dialogue with the farmers. Don't send the same type of miscreant people to communicate with farmers, and the same kind of, you know, skullduggery mentality. Coming to me, this farmer and that farmer and this one and that one, and give this one a check and give that one a check, and that's it. Go around and let's be real. Let the platform be open for all. Let the platform be open for all farmers. You know something, when you go and check, you look at the status quo of many of those persons who are working in the Ministry of Agriculture and see how much land they have. See how much 20 acres and how much 10 acres and how much acres of land that they have and their family have. Some of you mightn't like what I'm saying, right? Some of you mightn't like that, but the truth is, whether you like it, the truth is the truth. So I am calling on Minister Ravi Ratiram to sit down with his team of advisors and try to identify, quadrant the area. Quadrant the area. You have central, you have south, you have north, you have east, you have west. Quadrant the area and have dialogue with people and let people, you know, let them have, you know, outreach programs and so forth, and come up with ideas how that, you know, they can inculcate within the 2-acre plots of land and help people, you know, help them by, you know, paying for the preparation of the land. A simple thing like that. Look how things is coming just so in my head. All the government have to do, say what, here what? You have a 2-acre, you have a 2-acre, you have a 2-acre, you have 50 acres of land, or 25 2 acres. Right. The government say, okay, we're going to help you prepare this land. What you willing to put forward? What is the crop you want to put? I want to plant sweet potato. I want to plant this. I want to plant that. Here what we're going to do. We're going to call up this contractor or this agricultural person, and we're going to hear what? We're going to help you. You know, you're helping them. You're not giving them. You're helping them. You're paying upfront costs, right? Ministry of Agriculture, lend this person here what, $25,000. That's a starter, $25,000 for this crop. And let the people who, the observers and the investigators and those inspectors and so forth go across there periodically and see that these products are really growing. These are things that you have to initiate. And when the product is grown, right, things like cucumber, you start pickling. Things like tomato, you start processing. Things like potatoes, you start making chips and export. Those things have a lot of life shelf. A lot of things could happen. Trinidad and Tobago, the people in Parliament, take care of them, help them out, do seasoning, bottle seasoning, do a lot of things. We have fruits. Where is the citrus? Where is the cocoa? All those things vanish. Where is the rice? Where is the sugarcane? All those things vanish. What if something should happen adverse? We're not talking about war with America and Venezuela. We're just talking about a natural disaster. Something should happen naturally in our country. Can we be food self-sufficient? Can we be that? People, people who are afraid to eat bhaji and who say I'm not eating bhaji, they will have to resort to eating bhaji. Right? So my friends, those of you who are locked on, those of you who are on this channel, Sentinel Media Broadcasting is your channel. It's not my channel. It's your channel where you have a voice. You can call me. You can identify. You can tell me. And I would be able to tell John Public outside here, what is your thoughts? What is your thought for the day, for the week, for the month? Right? These are things that we are going to do. So again, I thank you all very much. May God Almighty unite our hearts as one. It's about time we start moving on. It's about time we start moving on and stop fighting. Right? Show discipline. You know what normally happens? All right. The PNM government, you were there for 10 years, right? Maybe some people benefit. I'm not saying that you didn't produce. You produced something. Maybe you did certain things, right? The PNM government in power now, everything you're going to do, you're going to attack them. So the PNM did everything right. And the UNC at this point in time, they're doing nothing right. Is that what you all are saying? And you all are propagating that in your tent, if you want to call it that. Right? You are propagating that there, the UNC doing nothing for the people and that. No, that is not so. You have to unite because the resources that is paying the opposition leader and paying the prime minister, pay the same salaries that you all are receiving, whether it be MP or member of parliament or ministers in government. My friends, it is coming from the hard-working citizens' pocket. So stop playing foolish. Those of you who are in parliament, try to unite and try to understand that we pay in your salary. Don't go and sit down there and waste time. If the government is doing something good, support them. If they're doing something that is adverse, that is not right, is not correct, show them, teach them, educate them, and let them know, well, here what? We were here. Because really and truly, when you look at PNM and UNC, PNM is the godfather of politics. They know politics. They sprung from politics. UNC is a fairly new party, 30 years, 35 years. It's a fairly new party. PNM was here from the inception. And you ask the question, did the PNM build a hospital? Port of Spain, San Fernando, and Arima Hospital was always there. How many police stations the PNM built? How many things that the PNM really did in their tenure, and how much? Let me be real. Let's dissect it properly. What did the UNC do in their 5 years and what you do in 10 years? And you're going to realize that you, at this point in time, you should put your finger by your lips, just like what the teacher used to tell you when you're in class and you're talking, and the teacher put his finger by his mouth and say, shh, that is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing that at this point in time. Shoo, and listen to what the present government is doing. Help them, support them. Why? Because the both parties, we, the citizens of this country, the hard-working, loyal, honest citizens of this country, we are paying your salary, we are giving you your breakfasts, we are giving you your lunches, and we are taking care of giving you the high rides and the mighty rides that you all are driving. We are paying for that. We are paying for your cost of living. We are paying for your security. So hear what? Try to work for the people, please. This is my final advice to the ministers in government and also the opposition who want to oppose it. They want to oppose any and everything. Remember, the citizens of this country are paying your salary, you're working for we. I think sometimes you all forget that. You are working for the citizens of this country. So hear what? Start doing your work. Start doing your work. Because I tell you something, we mightn't have the power to do it, to change it. But one day, in the near future, when you will stand before the Maker on the day of requital, you will have to answer for the position that you hold and the amount of monies that you spend and the time that you utilize and the health that I gave you. You will have to account for that. So my friends, I want to thank you very much. May God Almighty bless you and keep you all safe. Right? As I close, I just want to read two texts here, right? We really need accountability. That's something that, firstly, we need to be accountable to ourselves. Accountability is number one priority. We need people thinking outside the box. We need people thinking outside the norm because the norm isn't working. That's another text. I tell you something, a lot of people here is jam-packed and there's jam-packed with texts. But I would like to hear voices. I would like to hear your voices, your soothing voice in my ear. So those of you who are locked on, 3722129, 4854644, give me a voice note. We're going to play it. If you're afraid to call, you are fearful to call, give me a voice note and tell me what you think we should do on this program to elevate, to uplift the program, and inshallah, you know, how we can benefit the public of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you all very much. I thank the government of the day. I thank the opposition. Be a good opposition. Be a good representative to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. May God Almighty bless you all and keep you all safe. I thank you. Goodbye.